Okay, so you decide that you want to make your photos look better. So you get yourself a piece of software, in this case Adobe Photoshop's Elements, and you sit down and you load up your photograph and you think, hey, what next? I've got all these buttons on the side down here. I've got all of these menus up here. Where do I start? So you may go onto YouTube, look up a few tutorials, and you can find out what one or two features do, but you don't know how to stitch those features together. So I'm going to show you the 5 steps that you should consider taking for every single photograph you work on, so that by the end, you know where to start and what to do next. Right, so let's start with crop and rotate. Or should I say rotate and crop, and I'll show you why in a couple of seconds. Let's come down to our cropping tool. Now check out this guy. He's on holiday, and like most of us, he thinks he's the most fascinating, beautiful thing in the entire picture. So he wants to crop in nice and close so you can see much more of him. So we've loaded up our crop tool. We come here and we draw out a box like this. And then I take the box, I drag it by one of its corners, and I come down nice and close. So you can see as much of Mr. Fabulous as possible. Come down. Use my tick mark or press enter, and there he is. But the eagle-eyed amongst you will have noticed a problem. The sea is draining off to the right. It's going downhill. Well, we need to fix that. So we need to rotate the photo. In order to do that, we come down again to our toolbox and we select this, the straighten tool, or press P on the keyboard. Click on it. This is very simple to use. You come to a start point, you drag a line out there, and as soon as I let go, the whole picture will rotate around so that that line, which is currently diagonal, will be straightened out and the rest of the picture with it. Let's try it out. There you go. The picture got rotated. It's the angle it should be. But now look, see, we've got a problem. Because we rotated it, we've got these white triangles around the edge of the picture. That's because we rotated the picture around, but Adobe Elements, like any other image editing program, is expecting to see vertical sides and horizontal edges on the very edges of our image. So it sticks in these white triangles. Okay, we don't want that. It looks a bit ugly. So let's come to our magnifying glass and come down and press fit screen so we can see our entire photo. Well, look, you can see those white triangles have to be cropped out. So come back to our crop tool and drag out a crop box. So I need to get rid of that triangle down there. I've got rid of it around here. And also I've got this triangle here to the left and to the top. And if I get rid of all of those, now you see the problem. If I press enter to commit to that, I've now chopped off the top of his head. If I crop first and then rotate, chances are this will happen. I've had to crop twice, so you start cutting off bits of Mr. Gorgeous here. So we'll have to do something about that. Let's come to Window, History. Now this useful little tool shows you all the actions you took since you started working on your picture. So I will go right back to step 1 when I open the picture and do nothing else. Now this time round we're going to do it the other way around. We are going to come to our straighten tool first. As before, we are going to drag out a line like this. The whole image straightens up, and now if we come to our crop tool, we can drag out a box. Because we haven't already cropped out all these spare bits around the edges of the picture, we've got more space to work with. So I can come down here, drag up from the bottom here, like this. I can also move the whole thing around. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to crop in just a little bit more here. I'm going to put the main subject, which is this guy here, on this line here. Can you see that line there? The screen has been divided up into 3 blocks, 1, 2, 3, by these 2 lines. Same vertically. The screen's been divided up into 1, 2, 3 blocks. These are rule of thirds lines, and the theory goes is that you put your point of interest somewhere on the rule of thirds lines. So let's try that. Let's try moving down a bit. So I've got the horizon line of the sea on this rule of thirds line, and I've got our man here standing more or less on the rule of thirds lines. Now if I press enter to commit, because I rotated first and then cropped, I had more image to play with. I've placed our man so he stands more or less on the rule of thirds lines, and the reason for that is that putting your main subject right in the middle of your picture can look a little bit boring. By moving him to one side, there's more room for the viewer to look at that nice background.